All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
We are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you and you guys know what you're doing. And
Welcome in Inside the Game, episode 322. My name's Ryan Glinsky. We've got James Schofield, our producer, in the building. But how about England, everyone? That's bad voice crack. How about England? How about England? Man, do they invent ways to lose. God, was that awesome last night. Wasn't that just great? Swiss Michael already in the chat. He says first, welcome in. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you've got thoughts about the game, World Cup final, whatever it is, get them in there. But I just want to say this. How about England, man? How about England? It's coming home. It's coming home. It's not. How about England, man? I just gotta say. I know James and I are Lions fans, and unfortunately, we're Lions fans. But man, I would much rather be a Detroit Lions fan than an England fan, because man, have you seen their exits in the last 3 World Cups? Penalties in the semifinals in 2018. I mean, you can really go to 2010 where they didn't score the goal. And then you have 2022 Harry Kane's fluffed PK against France in the quarters. And then you've got yesterday, up 1-0 with under 10 minutes to go, and you let Enzo Fernandez score, and then you allowed Lionel Messi to become Lionel Messi, which, by the way, Jude Bellingham should probably be public enemy number 1, or maybe you think Thomas Tuchel's public enemy number 1. One of those guys should be 1A, 1B public enemy in England, because Tuchel, what are you doing with your substitutions and your tactics? We'll get to that in a little bit. But Jude, Messi was playing horrible. For the entire game, and all of a sudden, Bellingham said something, and then Messi does this. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he turned into God. This dude was playing horrible, and then Bellingham said something, and he turned into God. He played like MJ. Well, the moment you piss off Michael Jordan, he just goes off. And that's exactly what Jude Bellingham did yesterday. Again, get into the comments if you have not already. Swiss Michael says, Argentina's best game this World Cup. I would say so. I would probably agree. I guess maybe the group stage games, I thought they played a little bit better. I would say this is their best knockout game for sure. But I think the group stage, I thought they played relatively well. Dave is in the chat as well. Big Scottish fan. He says, happy Thursday. Order has been restored. Yes, Dave. England has lost today. Hey, I'm glad the Scottish are happy as well, because you know what? The Scottish deserve some happiness. They showed up to Boston. They drank all the beer. They showed up to Miami. They probably drank all the beer there as well. They didn't get out of the group stage, but you know what? They saw England lose. So shout out Scotland. And then we've got Michael again. It's not very sympathetic to bully losers, but I did it with Germany too. LOL. And then we've got Messi played better than versus Switzerland. Yeah, dude. He was awful, though, for the first 35, 40 minutes of that game, and then all of a sudden he turned it on. So that's exactly what happened. James, though, you were upset about this result. Why are you upset about England
Listen,
losing?
I just wanted Argentina to lose, okay? With everything that's been going on with Argentina, all the corruption and all this crap, I just wanted to see Argentina lose, and with all the favoritism and everything, and I'm sure we'll get into it. I still firmly believe that Argentina is now advancing due to a 1-1 draw. Okay? That first goal was fucking offsides. It was offsides.
It was not offsides.
It was offsides, Ryan.
It was not offsides.
It was offsides.
It was not
offsides.
It was
that was
not
a
off.
1-1 draw. That was a
was not
1-1
offsides.
draw. And here's you know what though, Ryan? I want to see England be like, oh, remember that flow situation? Yeah, we have precedents now. We're going to challenge that. That's what I want to see.
wasn't
I want to
offsides,
see
though.
England. He was offsides.
He was not off.
He was offsides.
And if anything, even if they went to another, even if that was pulled, even if it was pulled off for an offsides, England was still losing the game. England was still going to lose
I don't
because
know.
the way that they played was horrible. They
Not-
played like
horrible.
they played like a bunch of wimps.
No, man, no. They got their goal.
They created no offense.
They got
the
their
entire
goal.
game.
Then they sat back, and that's what they did. And
They sat back the entire game. They got the one lucky break, and Medina, whatever his name is, fell asleep at the back and allowed Anthony Gordon to score. And after that, like outside that, the entire game they created no offense. Jordan, they hit the amount of posts Argentina hit, the amount of saves Pickford had to make. No,
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
it was not offside.
I gotta say though, whatever. But I gotta say though, they fell back. You watch Argentina; they were running all over the place. I mean, they're wearing themselves out, and England was just sitting back. Now I will admit they took too long. They sat back for way too long, and that's why they lost. But it was a 1-1 draw.
No, Argentina was still winning. Look, England's got nothing to blame but themselves. England, and by the way, I've got the victory shades on because England lost. Like, it's
I was saying beforehand, you needed to wear like the white dress shirt from Whiskey Business because like you got the whole look, you got the whole Tom Cruise look going on right now with those sunglasses.
Yeah. No, I just got the victory shades on though today because you know what that means? England is not going to win a World Cup, and that means the world has won. The world wins when England loses, and they just invent ways to lose. And my mom yesterday was asking me, like, why are you so happy England lost? I go, Mom, there is something about when a team like England, a country of that magnitude, the soccer history that they've produced, David Beckham is sitting in the suites, and he's loving it. One of the best players they've ever produced. And the amount of football, soccer royalty that they've got in their history, and they just continue to find ways to lose. Like, if you look at it, 2018, I didn't even add the Euros in there. 2018, this is why I'm happy I'm never going to be, like, I'm happy I'm not an England fan because since 2018, I mean, you could go throughout history, they've lost heartbreaking fashion. But since 2018, the World Cup and the Euros have been heartbreaking. 2018, they lose on pens to Croatia, and they were leading in that game too. They could have got to a World Cup final. They would have lost to France anyway. 2021, they led thanks to Luke Shaw within minutes. They lost on pens again. They missed 3 PKs. Rashford, Sancho, and Bukayo Saka, they all missed PKs. They lost at home to Italy in that one. Then we go into 2022. Harry Kane's got an opportunity to, I think, tie against France late in the game in the quarterfinals. He sent that thing straight to the moon. He missed that one. Then we go into the 2024 Euro finals. They claw their way back against Spain to tie. Then they ultimately lose to Spain yet again in the Euros final. And then we go to yesterday. They go up 1-0 and they play the softest brand of soccer they could possibly play. Score, sit back. They had 6 defenders on the field at one point during when they went down 1-0. Or when they went up 1-0. They had 6 defenders on the field. No attackers. And then you know what they allowed? As Zlatan said, they allowed the right foot of God to destroy them and beat them yet again. That's exactly what happened yesterday. And they showed up. They lost yet again. Argentina, a massive choke job by England, and Argentina is now in the World Cup final. And by the way, that's probably a very good third place game. By the way, England versus
I was about
France.
to say, like, that kind of, if you think about it, Ryan, it's like the Revolution round 2.
Revolution. They
did help. They did help us. They did help us in the Revolution.
I did see some memes yesterday. I've never seen England blow a lead like that since the 13 colony league back in 1776. I have seen those memes.
I will admit that is funny. I like that.
That's great. Swiss though, he thinks Spain is going to beat Argentina. Look, I am not.
I'm going Spain too.
Some people probably think I'm an Argentina slappy at this point. I just didn't want England to win. That's all I cared about. I think Spain's going to win as well. I said England was going to win yesterday, but I forgot how bad they will choke. How can this be offside? I don't think it's offside. I genuinely don't believe Messi was offside. They drew the lines, which we can't throw up the photo on here because.
Yeah, do you have the photo though?
No, we can't.
No, I mean, do you have it though? Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen the photo.
Okay, all right. And you're trying to say it's not.
It's not offside.
Right.
They drew the lines.
Well, you know what? Maybe during the break I'll take a look at it when we take.
If you want to see the photo, go to Yahoo. That's all we can say.
Yahoo Sports.
Yahoo Sports. Go to it. They showed They showed the photo.
I will admit I was wrong if I look at the picture. I will look at the picture during the break. And I'll let
That's
y'all know.
football, score one, and then defense. It only works in football. That's why football is special. It was a long-range shot. No, we're talking about the Swiss. We're talking about on the return pass. Messi was... It looked like Messi was offsides. Enzo Fernandez was not offside, but on the return pass on the corner, Messi looked like offsides, but I think it was his right foot or left foot that was just dangling behind him, and no, he was not offside.
Yeah, I think it was that left foot.
I think England played a good tourney, and they now have a Euro at home, so maybe it will happen. Then I hope they stay with Tuchel. Well, they had a home World Cup a home Euros back in 2020. Dude, the lengths that UEFA did to give England a home game every single game in the Euros was crazy back then. That was crazy back then. Like, that was literally every single. Which, by the way, there's a good Netflix documentary on that about the final with Italy and England. I would recommend that and go take a watch on that because that's a very good documentary. The England fans were just assholes. So
What's it called?
Huh?
What's it called, Ryan?
No idea. It's a Netflix original though. You just search up England versus Italy 2020, and I'm sure it'll show up on Netflix or on the Google. But
Azuri Road to Wembley.
yeah, no, it is horrible what those England fans did in that one. But
Attack on Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
Attack on Wembley, though, is currently not available in our country, so you will have to use a VPN in order to watch it.
Well, I was able to watch it when it first came out. So
Yeah, it's not available to us anymore, though, for some reation.
But anyway, talking about the game though a little bit though, I do want to get into how it all happened and everything. Like, England had a very solid game plan on Lionel Messi. It was box him in. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. That's exactly what they did. They boxed him in. They didn't allow Messi really much airspace, as I would like to say. And Messi was held in a box. There was no offense generated at all by Argentina in the first half. Argentina, their passes were sloppy. By the way, Simeone should have been subbed off way before than he actually did. Simeone was just horrible in that game. And I go back and I watch it, and it was... England did everything well for 85 minutes. And they defended well, they marked well, they made great recoveries, they boxed Messi in, and then all of a sudden, Jude Bellingham just had to poke at Messi. They just poked him. And Messi, who was playing horrible, showed up in the big way. Showed up exactly when you need it. And it's almost like you just got to give Messi just a little bit of motivation. And he just turned it.
It's almost like he was just kind of being chill, and then they just kept messing with him. He's like, all right, fine, I'll activate.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And Swiss, you're right. They played a perfect 45 minutes in the first half. But once they got into the second half, though, you saw everything start to change a little bit because the way Argentina came out in the second half was night and day from the way that they were playing in the first half. It was night and day. And then England, they get the one break, they cross it in. Medina, I forget exactly who it was, fell asleep at the back post. Anthony Gordon cuts across the face of him. He puts the ball in the back of the net, 1-0. And what does England do? There was actually, based on what the tactics look like, I guess from what they were saying is Rashford was going to come on before the goal was scored. The tactics were going to change for England. Anthony Gordon comes in, he scores. Rashford then gets pulled off. They bring on Konsa, who's one of the, for Rice, I believe, who is a defender. And Tuchel just keeps bringing on defenders. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's a 1-0 lead. However, if you're down a man, that makes sense, like you did against Mexico. But from 40 minutes left to go in the game, or 30 minutes, 35 minutes, whatever it was, you don't do that. Thomas Tuchel should be ashamed. Thomas Tuchel is the one to blame for this loss because you do not defend like that for 40 minutes. You have got to, again, sub defenders on like that in the final 10 minutes, final 5 minutes. Yeah, go ahead, do that. But you do not do that in the final 40 minutes of that game. You just don't. That is a horrible look for Thomas Tuchel in England. And some people say they wanted to make it they want to make him a spy. They just want to do that because he's German and it was just a German implant to spy on England and to just throw the game for him. I get those conspiracies, but I don't believe in any of that. But I just look at the game yesterday and I think England is to blame by themselves. You go up 1-0. You've got the world champions, the number one team in the world, a team that has not lost has lost, I think, 1 or 2 games since 2019. And Saudi Arabia was one of those teams. You just can't do that at all today. You have this team on the ropes. You can't do that. And Thomas Tuchel, you're to blame for that debacle. And you can't sit back for 40 minutes like that. You've got the likes of an Anthony Gordon, a Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka was on the bench. You had a Morgan Rogers. You could have brought on a Nani Madueke. The attacking studs you still had on this team and at your disposal, you are not. You should be ashamed of yourself because you're a team that should not have sat back like that for 40 minutes. Final 15 minutes, sure, sit back like that, and you should have, and then you can bring on the defenders for that. But to sit back for 40 minutes, that's a disgrace to your team. That is showing to your team that you cannot win straight up. If you sit back for 40 minutes like that, you cannot win straight up for that. You just can't, because you sitting back. What they did against Mexico, that is completely fair because you're down a man. That makes sense. But to sit like that against Argentina when it's 11v11, when you've got the number 1 team in the world on the ropes who hasn't played well, you just can't do that. You just can't. That's a disgrace. Thomas Tuchel should be fired immediately after that because that's a fireable offense. Because I generally don't know if England's got a better opportunity of winning a World Cup, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. Let's see. Swiss Michael, again, get your thoughts in the chat if you haven't already. That 45 minutes were proof that Tuchel he is right with his defensive tactics, but he was not. Never a coach from another country won a World Cup with a foreign team. Yeah, we're going to get to that. I wanted to talk about that just a little bit in this one. Is a foreign manager ever going to win a World Cup? And I generally don't believe it based on yesterday because that was the best opportunity that they had. That was the best opportunity England had with a foreign manager ever to win a World Cup, and it just wasn't meant to be yet again. So I don't believe a foreign manager will ever win a World Cup, and we can propose that question: will a foreign manager ever win it? I don't believe so because I think most importantly that a native coach to that nation knows those players in and out. I like having a foreign manager though. I liked England at least attempting at it because maybe you could find your blind spots with the nation, and I think he did to some extent because I thought they played a little bit more attacking. I thought they played a little bit more free-flowing compared to what Southgate was doing in previous years. But ultimately, he was unable to get it done, and I think there's no better opportunity for a foreign manager to win a World Cup than with a Thomas Tuchel and with England because you're up 1-0 in the 84th, 85th minute, whatever it was. You've got the best team that you could probably do it with, and you came up short yet again. And that's kind of the message though with England though. They just always come up short. They always find ways. They invent ways to lose. And that's what happened. And obviously, this rivalry
been
just
coming up short for 250 years.
Yes, they've been coming up. Well, they did win in 1966. They did win a World Cup in 1966. I will give them that. They did win a World Cup in 1966. But no, that's just what England does. They invent ways to lose. They find ways to lose. And if I'm an England fan, I wouldn't even show up to work at all today because I would stay off social media. I wouldn't show up to work.
I showed up.
Well, yeah, you're not an England fan though. You're an American.
I was just anti-Argentina. I wasn't actually an England fan.
Okay.
I was just anti-Argentina.
But you're also not English. Like if you're English, if you're from the country, I would stay completely out of it. Let's see here again. Get your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't as well. In 2 years, his time will come if they stay to him. So again, Swiss Michael is saying that they should keep him. I think yes. I think with the English fans though, they might turn on him immediately after yesterday's performance. But again, they have shown that they can hang with the manager. Look at Southgate, and everyone hated him from 2018 to 2024. So I mean, they have proven they have a track record that they could compete or keep managers, I should say, with Gareth Southgate. Ronald McPaul is in the chat. Welcome in, Ronald. The English fans kept saying it's coming home. And the American team is cheating and needs to lose. Now they're disappointed and sad. Yeah, I was seeing comments like that. And look, I get upset. I get upset about the USA losing every World Cup. But then I watch as the tournament progresses, and I think to myself, I would have rather lost in the USA fashion than the way England loses in the World Cup all the time. Like, You're telling me I'm going to lose first off, we didn't even qualify in 2018, but you're telling me I'm going to score a goal, I'm going to lead in a World Cup final to ultimately lose in PKs. I wouldn't want to do that in a World Cup semifinal. You're telling me in 2022 when we got BTA'd by the Netherlands and we would then have Christian Pulisic sky a penalty with an opportunity to equalize late in the game? Yeah, no, I would probably pass on that. I would pass on that. Then you tell me this year that I would rather get BTA'd by Belgium or go up 1-0 against Argentina in the semifinal, give up 2 goals in the final 10, 15 minutes. I'd probably rather get BTA'd by Belgium, because if the USA lost that way to in the semifinals or quarterfinals or to Belgium, I wouldn't want to do the show the next day. I really wouldn't, because they blew that lead. They were horrible in that one. That was Wembley. They cursed because of the goal since then, but he's German. LOL. That's why a lot of England fans were skeptical at first of Thomas Tuchel, because he is a German coach and he's not an English coach. But I will say this though about Argentina before we get into is this England's best opportunity to ever win a World Cup? We want to get to the break here soon. But if I look at Argentina, they are just a resilient group, man. You can say it's rigged all you want. You can say fix it for Argentina. You can say it all you want. But this Argentina team is just resilient. You saw what they did with Cape Verde in a tough match. You saw what they did against Egypt, down 2-0. They come back, they win 3-2. You can say, well, it was rigged. It should have been a foul, whatever it was. Well, tell Egypt not to choke. Tell them Egypt not to give up 3 goals in the final 15 minutes of the match. It's more blame on Egypt than anything. And then you can say Switzerland, well, they had the faint red card, and I thought it was a little bit of a faint red card. Don't get me wrong. I think Switzerland probably got the short end of the stick a little bit. But again, Argentina showed up. Julian Alvarez scored the best goal of his life, most likely. And then you could say yesterday with England, well, was it an offsides? I would have liked to see the replay, but I don't think he was offsides. I saw a photo where they drew the lines. He wasn't offsides. And then I think to myself, they're resilient. Yet again, they show up. And when you've got an opportunity to bury a team like Argentina, you've got to take your shot. And that's exactly what England did not do yesterday. You've got to take your shot against them. They didn't. You had them on the ropes. 1-0, 30 minutes to go. After that tactical timeout, the hydration break, I would have said it for the next 10 minutes to just try to bury them a little bit. Create a couple of opportunities. Put them on the back end a little bit. Be on the front foot just a little bit. And then once the clock gets closer to 80, I'd sit back a little bit. I would have. But that's just not the case. And no, that just was not the case for them. Let's see here. A couple more comments coming in before we get into the break. JV Flores, welcome in. Against FIFA, another one bites the dust. Against Argentina, another one bites the dust. Man, they're just showing up all the Queen references, I guess. Ronald McPaul, a foreign manager will definitely win at some point. I don't know, because I feel like this was the best opportunity for a foreign manager to do that. Breaking after what? So, is there some breaking news?
We got a little bit of news that we'll get to after the break.
Oh, okay. Some breaking news, I guess. So stay locked in. I guess there's some breaking news, according to James. I haven't checked my phone at all or anything. So sorry, I have to ask now, Ryan. Do you know about the goal in Wembley? Till today, we do not know if it was a goal or not. That's the curse I talk about. I do not know what you're talking about. I'll search it up during the break, though, Swiss. JV, Ryan is the same dude to see a robbery going on and say, nah, they just borrowing money. Come on, man, we're not blind. 11v11 versus Switzerland, they would have won. Again, I thought Switzerland was robbed. This World Cup is rigged. Guys, yesterday was not rigged. It wasn't rigged because Messi wasn't offsides. The lines were drawn. Check Yahoo Sports. They drew the lines.
I mean, it wasn't just that, though. I mean, look at the calls that were even being made.
Sure. We can get into the fouls. I thought there was definitely.
There's a reason why the FIFA, why our people keep telling us it means fix it for Argentina.
Sure.
Period.
We can get into that. We can get into that for sure. But yeah, no. Let's go into the break. We are way past the break. Let's get into the break. We've got some breaking news on the other side, so don't go anywhere. Inside the Game, we'll continue.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. live games, highlights, and more each and every day, only on the National Soccer Network.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. The US look like they are truly poised for a dream run at this point. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and over, select state. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in DC, Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Great game footage starts with Vio. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Vio footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Vio experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right. I guess another. All right, welcome into Inside the Game, episode 322. My name's Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield in the building. Yes, Swiss, I do know about the curse. I didn't know exactly what you were talking about. I do know about it. They're asking, are they, James, do you think it was offside? Swiss is asking you if you think it was offsides.
I was wrong. It look okay. It did look offsides but when it was zoomed in, I look at the picture, his foot was just barely not offsides. I will admit it. He was not offsides.
All right, we do have some breaking news, though, James. What's going on in the breaking news with England?
Yeah, so England not letting us go completely, at least. They are now, the UK is actually urging FIFA to investigate Argentina's team after players posed with a banner claiming sovereignty over the contested Falkland Islands. So during the post-match celebrations, AP News is posting this. Argentine players held a banner handed over by fans in the stands reading, Los Malvinas son Argentinas. And I'm terrible at Spanish, so I apologize. But it means the Malvinas are Argentine. Now, of course, this is a big no-no because you're not supposed to have political banners and such at FIFA. So if this investigation does come out in the UK's favor, I guess really FIFA's favor because they're breaking the rules, they can actually fine $5,000 to $20,000 over to either the player or the organization.
So, any suspensions at all?
Nothing yet. I don't see anything about having a suspension. Just some financial hardship.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, if there's no suspensions, then I guess it doesn't truly affect England.
It's going to be a symbolic thing, if anything.
Okay. So it's not going to affect Argentina. I was thinking.
No.
Again, when you do something like that, I just don't think they're going to suspend any of the players because obviously the biggest thing is suspending the players if that's the case, because
that would make
hurts.
for a really, really interesting final.
That would extremely hurt them in the final, obviously, because you're suspending a couple of players. But I mean, Argentina, though, the fans, I mean, they were singing during the national anthem of England. I thought that was rather disrespectful. That's the one thing that I'll feel a little bit sympathetic.
Yeah, I
for,
saw that. Yeah.
For England, but they were singing during the national anthem. I thought that was a little bit shady because obviously we were upset about Canada singing in the USA national anthem during the Four Nations a couple of years ago, and then obviously USA went in there and walked in and beat the shit out of them and beat them. Which, by the way, we're gonna end the show about yelling about Canada. By the way, because screw Canada for what they are doing to the state of Michigan right now. Screw them.
Ronald McPaul. Yes, I was rooting for England. We established it's not that I was rooting for England. I was rooting against Argentina.
He just doesn't want to see them lose. But anyway, Ronald McPaul though goes Ryan and James and the chat celebrating the English downfall together. My goats. Well, you're our goat also. Ronald McPaul, you're our goat, along with everyone in the chat as well. Nothing Burger is all they'll get is a fine. Yeah, that's all it's going to.
Flores, you bring up a good point. I mean, they technically could be suspended or disqualified for that.
So Argentina could be disqualified for this?
Yeah, national teams and football associations can be suspended or disqualified due to political interference and prohibited political messaging. So yeah, technically FIFA could suspend Argentina.
So England could make the final?
England could
replace them?
England could make the final by default.
So
what's more American than getting in somewhere by default?
I mean, the precedent has been set though simply because of the whole Fuller and Balogun.
Yeah, that's the thing. The investigations. Yeah.
So I mean, that is definitely something that happens. But I think Swiss is right though. I mean, I don't believe anything is going to happen though because it's Argentina. Again, there's certain, like now if this was the round of 32 or the round of 16 and a Cape Verde won against like a England or something, and Cape Verde did the same thing, then yeah, there's maybe something. But again,
well, and plus, what have I
that talks? We all know that talks.
And what else was I saying too? I was saying I'm like, especially with it being in the and I love my country. Don't get me wrong, but we love our drama.
We do.
We love it. We love it, and we also love having it be like the returning champion versus the rising contender.
Yeah.
So FIFA, I mean, come on, let's be real. This whole freaking World Cup, they're just trying to make sure Argentina got to the finals. Period, because they want the big guy versus the contender.
Which, to be fair, this is gonna.
I mean,
JV says it's still rigged. He says it's rigged if they're not disqualified. I mean, you also can't blame. I also cannot feel bad for the other teams when Egypt gives up 3 goals in the last 15 minutes and England gives up 2 goals in the last 10. Like, I genuinely can't feel bad for it. We can argue some of the fouls. I mean, I thought that England may have gotten a couple of whistles or didn't get a couple of whistles that they probably should have gotten. But I'm just saying, though, guys, like I don't think this one was rigged compared to maybe the Switzerland one and the Egypt one because of the VAR. But again, I can't say it because you've got to hold the lead. If it was truly rigged, I mean, Egypt and what's it called? England don't give up leagues, man. Don't give up leads like that. It's as simple as that. And England yesterday choked yet again. Like, I can't feel bad for them giving up 2 goals in the final 10 minutes of a match. It's as simple as that. Egypt was rigged. Well, don't get then it's 3-3 going into extra time, and all the momentum was going in favor of Argentina. If it was rigged yesterday, it's 1-1, and England was still going to sit back. They're going to try to force PKs. It's as simple as that. They were going to do that, and that is just the reality of it. That's just the reality.
Yeah, but on the rig point, I can guarantee you, if England won that match, and one of their players had put a banner up, I can almost guarantee you FIFA's going to suspend them.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I think it's just
they're a big brand. All you had to get is if this was like a Morocco versus an England or an Argentina and they did that, I could see something like that. But I genuinely don't think it's gonna. I genuinely think this investigation is just gonna be a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Like Swiss said, it's just gonna be a nothing burger. Nothing's gonna happen.
A Swiss nothing burger.
A Swiss nothing burger. Or a nothing burger with Swiss on it, I guess.
Yeah, Swiss cheese.
Like it was. And Swiss was right. It wasn't rigged. You've got to blame England in this situation. You just have to blame England. It's as simple as that. And I think Argentina, which I'm excited about it, and then we can get really quick into the conversation though about England. Again, Argentina, they got to the World Cup. They were. We can bitch and moan about maybe some VAR calls and some missed fouls in the run of play, but in reality here, folks, is Argentina got to the final. I think relatively fairly. I think genuinely, because Egypt choked, England choked, and then we also had, Cape Verde and also Switzerland. Switzerland is the only one I feel a little bit bad for because I don't think that was truly a red card for Embolo. I think it was just a faint one. But JV says, I'm mad, I know, but not as Fabian. He started an online petition for Argentina to be disqualified yesterday when the live ended. I know for a fact he went to scream on his pillow. Dude, he was was fuming yesterday about
that was bad.
He was fuming about it. I can't imagine about the World Cup final, which by the way we will be doing a watch party for that on Sunday as well.
Heck yeah, we are. I'll be there too.
For the James will also be there, for the World Cup final as well. So, but no, let's get into it real quick though. I do want to talk about, is this going to be England's best shot of ever winning a World Cup? Because it felt like since 2018 they've been building towards something like this. I think they were just running with house money back in 2018 with the way they got there. They even won a PK shootout back in 2018. Then you get to the Euros, a great opportunity at home. You lost it at home on PKs, and then you get into 2022. You blow it again, but again you still have a very good roster. 2024 you lose in the final again. Yesterday you choke it. So Jordan Pickford's going to be 32, so it means next World Cup he's going to be 36. I don't know how good he will be but at the age of 36. You look at John Stones, he'll be done. Mark Gahey will be 30. Dan Burns done. Reece James will be 30. Jed Spence will be 29. Gaunt will be 27. Declan Rice will be 31. Jude Bellingham will be 26, along with Elliot Anderson. Kobe Mainoo will be 25, but he doesn't really play. Eze is 32. He probably won't play. Saka will be 28. Harry Kane will be 36, so he'll be well out of his prime. Rashford, 32. He'll be out of his prime. Anthony Gordon will be 29. He'll be on the end of his prime. So by 2030, this England team will be most likely, majority of these players will be out of their primes. So Jude will be 27. So, they will still have quality players, like Bellingham will be 27, Anderson will be 27, but again, you also don't know if they'll be healthy by then. So, majority of these players will be just past their prime or out of their prime fully. This feels to me, this was England's best shot of winning a World Cup. You're up 1-0 in the second half, you're going in the 85th minute up 1-0 against the number one team in the world, and you fail to get the victory. And your best players are going to be out of their primes come 2030. Harry Kane, 36. Jordan Pickford will also be out of his prime. John Stones, he'll be out of his prime. Your midfielders will most likely be good. Declan Rice will most likely be out of his prime. But your forwards, for the most part, are going to be out just at the end of their prime or out of their prime. And maybe in the next 4 years, some English superstar comes in and turns things around. But you will never have a striker as good as Harry Kane ever again. Because to win in this World Cup, to win in a World Cup, to go far, you need a shot stopper and a goal scorer. Look at Norway, and both of your shot stopper and your goal scorer are going to be out of their primes by then. Maybe I'm wrong, and there's a striker that comes in and is as good as Harry Kane, and if not better. But I've seen in the recent English ranks, I haven't seen a striker that's going to be better than any of them. I just haven't. There isn't an up-and-coming English striker in the Premier League that is going to. Maybe that striker comes in 2030, and maybe they're 20, 21, 22. Maybe they're just getting to their prime. Maybe they are, but I haven't seen that on any of the English strikers. So I think they missed a great opportunity. You're also never going to have an opportunity where you've got the number one team in the world on the ropes like that. And you blew it yet again. That's exactly what happened in this sense. And I think if you're England, I think that's a hard pill to swallow, because I don't think you're going to get another spot like this. You might have the Euros, though. I will give you the Euros. I think you're going to put up a very good effort then, because most of your players will still, Kane will be 34. He'll probably still be fine. Bellingham will be 25. So you will still have solid quality players. But come the World Cup in the next 4 years, I just don't think they are going to be in an opportunity in a spot like they were in this World Cup. I just don't think it. I just don't think that'll be the opportunity. Swiss says Kane maybe plays again. He still gets better. I mean, you're talking about a striker that's 36. I don't know if he's going to be better back in 36. By the way, I looked up Quansah for England. Yeah, he was still suspended for that challenge. That was a nasty challenge. It caught the Mexico player high up on the leg there. That's a fair suspension, I think. But yeah, no, Quansah, yeah, he was subbed off. But you look at the majority of the team. I mean, maybe we could look at tomorrow just about the projected 2030 World Cup roster, which I do want to look at the projected 2030 USA World Cup roster next week post World Cup, because, I mean, obviously everyone just wants to talk about the World Cup. No one truly wants to talk about the state of the U.S. men's national team right now. We will talk about the Flo Balogun situation because some interesting quotes came out about that yesterday. My point is now proven on it. But England, though, missed opportunity, truly missed opportunity against Argentina. You've got to win that game. You really do. And most teams are not going to be in a spotlight. Like you've got one opportunity. You've got one shot, one opportunity. Shout out Eminem for that line. One opportunity. Don't miss. What is it? Don't miss your opportunity. You got only one opportunity.
Yeah, if you had one
lifetime.
shot, one opportunity to snatch everything.
Something like that.
Yeah,
But
would you grab it or let it slip?
Yeah,
Something along those lines.
Shout out Eminem for it.
We're not true Detroiters.
But no, it is just not good right now for England. You've got to take an opportunity. You've got to take the opportunity, and you just can't let it slip. And they let it slip yet again, just like they did in 2018, just like they did in the Euros back-to-back times. And this feels like this is their best opportunity. Swiss says the same. It was this year was their best chance to go through to the semis. I guess I will never see the Swiss again in a quarterfinal. Well, it could be the USA Swiss and never get to the quarterfinals, period. This was our best opportunity, I think, for a long time to get to the quarterfinals, and we let it slip yet again. But let's take the break. Let's talk about what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about Argentina versus Spain. Let's get into the World Cup final as well. I think Spain's going to win. Again, we can still shit on England as much as you want. If you guys still want me to shit on England, we can totally do that. But let's get into Argentina, Spain, on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere. 322 will continue.
Great game footage starts with Vio. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Vio footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Vio experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, welcome back, everyone, into Inside the Game, episode 322. We got James Schofield in the building as well. My name is Ryan Glinsky. We have got the victory shades on because guess what? When England loses, the world wins. But yeah, no, here. I haven't thrown something in a while, but there we go. There we go. But yeah, no, this is, again, I got one last thing to talk about England before we get into the Spain Argentina talk a little bit about the World Cup. We'll go more in depth tomorrow. Don't lose sight there. We will go a little bit more in depth tomorrow. But I do want to talk about this with England because I just remember this. Me and my buddy were talking about this yesterday post game. and he goes, do you realize that, like, this is the only thing England has? Like, this is genuinely the only thing that country has. Because here in America, we suck ass at soccer. Like we're not kidding. We're not trying to sugarcoat anything. Like, we suck. And like us going out of the World Cup, you know what everyone's minds went to, James? NFL training camp starts in like a month. Like NFL.
Shoot, you're right.
NFL training camp starts. The NFL training camp starts in a month. And once this World Cup ends this Sunday, yeah, people might be in tune to hear us talk for the next like week or so. But then you know what? It's NFL training camp talk. Everyone's like, let's get back into NFL talk. College football. Like that, like obviously here we'll still talk about soccer. We'll talk about the leagues going on around the world, and for some reason the MLS starts today. I don't know why the MLS starts today, but the MLS is going to start today. But we will still keep talking soccer, guys. Don't kiss. We will still talk about.
Well, no, we're talking football now, and then we're going to talk football later.
That's true.
It's just a different type. Where we use mostly our hands.
We will probably sprinkle in a little bit of NFL talk, a little bit of Lions talk. Don't get me wrong, guys. We'll sprinkle it in a little bit as the season progresses. But we'll still talk. We'll keep you updated with the Champions League. We'll keep you updated about the Prem, the MLS, what's going on in the American leagues, and we'll keep you guys in touch. But after this ends, like NFL talk, and then college football is also going on as well. Football season's right around the corner. Then the NBA is wrapping up. Then the NHL will wrap up, and then after this, the MLB races to get to the playoffs, and that starts to get going. Like it'll keep going. But for England, this is the only thing they have. And a couple comments coming in. I missed the mom spaghetti thing, by the way. I missed the mom spaghetti.
Yeah.
That's a solid one.
That's a good one.
Ronald says, maybe after another victory, AR will claim the Canary Islands from Spain. Argentina will claim the Canary Islands from Spain. In Swiss, the new football season starts 5 days after the World Cup final. Yeah, the MLS starts today, knowing that because none of the MLS actually cares. But none of their players are actually in the MLS or in the World Cup still. Yeah, no, we'll still be talking about the Champions League. Don't worry. And I'm curious though. I think we might be doing some Champions League watch parties. We might. We'll just have to see how it all works out. But no, like England, this is the only thing they have. Like after this, yeah, they talk about their leagues or whatever. But like for the majority, unless you're an Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool fan, like you aren't winning anything of significance in England. Like that's genuinely it. Maybe Man United, maybe Chelsea, maybe those clubs. Maybe someone else, Villa, they make a little bit of a run in the FA Cups, the Carabao Cups, the Europas, the Conference Leagues, whatever it is. But for the most part, most of these fans, like their teams aren't winning anything. They don't have the likes of the NBA, they don't have the likes of the NFL. Like they don't have anything. Like this is all they have is every 2 years because you got the Euros and then you have the World Cup final. Like this is all they have. Whereas here we've got college basketball, football, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, whatever it is. Like we've got it all. And then if you are a soccer fan, you've got that too. Like that's why I just hate. That's why I've got so many teams that just annoy me a little bit because my teams just annoy the living crap out of me. But this is all they got, and it's so crazy to think that like this is all they have, and they just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And I love it though because like screw England, I don't like England when it comes to soccer. Now I'm sad that like Declan Rice and like if they were to win, I'd be happy for like Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka and all them. But like after that, like no, dude, like. Please don't win. And I love it. I just love trolling them. That's all I love. Are you thinking in Swiss, Michael? Pretty sure you are French for the Northwest or something. I don't know what any of that means, Ronald. I don't know what that kind of means. Again, smash the like button if you haven't already. Trying to get to 5 likes here today. Just smash the like button. Subscribe if you have not already. What are you laughing about over there?
Nothing. I didn't do anything.
Nothing?
I did not do anything. I did not touch the graphics whatsoever.
Oh, Ryan doesn't like the team, and we're not surprised. Yeah, dude, I think everyone realizes when it comes to soccer, like I genuinely
just don't like anybody.
I generally don't because
even the ones you do like, you don't like.
No, I like them.
I've watched your watch parties, and the whole time it's they're so good. What do? You guys suck. Worst team ever. Oh, they're so good. No, worst team ever. Like you hate them every time they do one thing you don't like them doing. It's true. You admit it. Come on.
Probably.
You definitely are the most love-hate fan I've ever seen.
Probably.
Like, you go from 0 to 10 the second they make a mistake. You're like, you guys are the worst team ever. I mean, I can guarantee if Messi makes a mistake, you're going to freak out and say he's the worst player of all time.
No, he's the greatest player of
I'm
all
waiting
time.
for it. You're going to say, he's no longer the GOAT, the worst player ever. I wanted him to do something, but he
He's the
just
greatest
wouldn't
player
do
of all-
it.
Messi's
You're
the
going
greatest
to do
player
it.
of all
dude.
time.
He's not going to be when he makes one mistake. I guarantee it.
He made
Ryan.
mistakes
You're gonna
yesterday
hate
and
him.
didn't crash out.
All right.
He's the greatest player of all time. All right, let's get into the World Cup final though. Spain versus Argentina, and these two teams. It's another sign of good teams win. Superstars will win you games. Teams will win championships. And this Argentina team, they're so tight knit, which I still don't understand. Like how, like this mess. I've never seen an athlete have a team so wrapped around their finger, and also a country wrapped around their finger. If we're talking about Slim Shady, England definitely threw up their mom's spaghetti yesterday. Yeah, probably. Swiss still thinks Ronaldo's the GOAT. No, it's not. Tell me how many World Cups Ronaldo has. I think he's a good number 2. I think Ronaldo's number 2. There's nothing wrong with that. He's number 2. Messi's number 1. But by the way, this is Messi's 3rd World Cup final, isn't it? Yeah, because he lost in 2014. And then, dude, I'm not going to lie, though. So since 2014, I remember the world was coming down in 2018 on Messi and Argentina. And then all of a sudden, they just continue they've gotten to 2 World Cup finals. In the last 4 World Cups, they've gotten to 3 World Cup finals. That's impressive. That's very impressive about Argentina. I don't think people realize that, because 14 they lost 1-0 to Germany. 2018 they just sucked. They got into they had Götze scored the game winner there. But in 2018 they just sucked, dude. They were horrible. They lose the Copa America, and then they win the Copa America after it. 2018 they lost in 16, then win in 2018, and then they win the I think 2020 or 2021 Copa America, whatever it was. They win in 2022, and then they just continue to dominate. Like Argentina, the world was falling in 2018, and since then they have just been on a buzzsaw. They win 2 Copa Americas, they win a World Cup, and then they're in a World Cup final again afterwards. And it's crazy to think that this man Messi almost quit the federation after the 2018 World Cup. And if he quit, Argentina would not have any of the success. And since he almost quit, the success has been there. Winning 2 Copa Americas, won a World Cup final, and now is in another World Cup final against a Spain side that I think 2 of these teams are very evenly matched. I think Spain wins though, but I mean just the track record that those guys have been on since then has just been impressive. It's been great. And I've absolutely loved the run that they have been on, because, I mean, 2010 Spain wasn't even on a run like this. They were 2008, 2010, 2012. After that, they just fell off. This team, 2021, I guess technically, we'll say 2021. 2021, Copa America. World Cup in 22. Copa America in 24, World Cup final again in 2026. So if they win this, because that whole debate back then was, again, we can still have this debate, and I think the edge still goes to Argentina. I think now it goes to Argentina, because the debate back then in 24 was, well, England won the Euro, or Spain won the Euros twice, and they won a World Cup. Well, that second World Cup around, They got grouped. They won 1 game. They got smashed by the Netherlands. That was the Flying Dutchman, and that's exactly they got belt to ass back in 2014 World Cup. Argentina, Copa America, and I get it. Copa America is harder, or is easier to win rather than the Euros. I get that, but again, the top of the top are still very good. You still had to beat a very good Brazil side to win it, and then they had to beat, I believe it was Uruguay this time around. James, who did they beat in the 2024? Can you search that up for me real quick? Who did they beat in the finals in 2024? Who did they beat? Argentina Copa America. Just search up 2024 Copa America final. Who did Argentina beat?
Let's see. Argentina defeated Colombia 1-0 after extra time.
In the final?
Let's see.
They beat Colombia? I thought they beat Uruguay.
Yeah, Copa America final.
Maybe Colombia. Okay, I was completely wrong.
2024 Copa America final, Argentina. Yep. Extra time to claim a record something or other. I didn't read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that they. Okay.
They won a record 16th title.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, it was Colombia. Appreciate it, Swiss. He said it as well. Dude, they're saying like words I don't even know in the chat. By the way, I think that's so cool. By the way, I think that's so awesome. Ronald and Swiss are saying their own words. I think that's so awesome. I don't even know what they're saying. They could say Ryan's a dumbass in whatever language, and I wouldn't even know about it. I probably agree with them too. But JV though, since Infantino took over, coincidence? I don't think so. # rigged. Really?
It's the whole reason why you got those sunglasses.
Really?
Just so you could do that.
Really? It's not rigged, guys. It's not rigged. It's just not. Argentina just plays better, man. They're resilient. It's a sign of champions. If England won in that fashion, they'd be like, it's a sign of champions. Argentina wins, and it's rigged. It's not rigged. Which, by the way, I know we joke. There's a running joke in America about like the script writers, dude. The script writers in this World Cup, have been phenomenal. Like, I kid you not. Morocco, Netherlands, the Norway, England game, Croatia, Portugal, Portugal, Spain, Brazil, Netherlands, yesterday. There's another good one that I had at the top of my head that I just missed it. Like, the script writers have been unbelievable in this World Cup. Like, I know that's like the running joke in America about this whole thing is like, well, the script writers have been great so far. Like, the script couldn't have been written any better. Dude, whoever wrote the script for the 2026 World Cup has just been phenomenal. Like, these games have just produced banger after banger after banger after banger, dude. Like, these matches have been phenomenal. I'm not even kidding. These matches have been great.
They've got those WWE script writers for this World Cup. Let's be real. They're WWE script writers. I'm just waiting for some like guy with a handheld going into the courtroom or whatever, and they start just fighting with chairs or something.
Whoever did this was great. I don't know who did it, but they were just great for it. But no, it's not rigged. And I look at this Spain game. I look at this Spain-Argentina matchup. I said it's overall better teams. Like, England probably has some better superstars than Argentina. Argentina has the best superstar in Messi. But I'm saying though, like France as well. France has all the superstars. Spain just cooked. But I look at it. This is gonna be a very good matchup. I think it's very evenly matched. I think I give the nod though to Spain, but you just can't rule out Argentina. You just simply can't, because they're a resilient group. They go down by 2 goals, they win. They go down by a goal, they win. They just continue to show up. They continue to find ways to win, and it's great to see. And I think that is why ultimately we're going to have a very, very good matchup on our hands. I think, again, I've been saying this all goes to extra time. I just don't know if it's going to go to extra time. I said it was going to go to extra time yesterday. It didn't do that. I said it was going to go to extra time for Spain versus France. They just didn't do it. And this is just a great tournament. This World Cup has been great. And I think the Spain-Argentina match, and I think it's very cool to see with this matchup, is the whole UNICEF thing back in the day, where it was a photo of a young Messi. I forget the year when it was, and he's like bathing a kid or whatever it is, and it's supposedly Lamine Yamal. I guess that is actually like the photo, like that is a real thing. And
yeah, I just looked it up, and yes, that is Lamine.
It is Lamine Yamal. Like, that is, you could not have wrote a better script for this. Swiss is saying a perfect script would have been France versus Argentina. I disagree because of that whole photo there. Like, you're telling me, what year was that photo taken? What year was that?
19 years ago.
So 2007.
Yep, 2007. Lionel Messi gave a baby a bath in 2007, and now we see what happened.
You're telling me 19 years later, after that photo was taken, those two players would play each other for a chance at soccer's ultimate prize.
Can I also point out this whole bathing thing is, if you think about it, it's almost like Achilles when he got dipped in the become immortal.
Messi
was a god dipping a newborn into the the ambrosia nectar.
Yes. Didn't Mbappe score a hat trick in the last finals in a losing effort versus Argentina? Yes, he did. 2 PKs and one insane volley. And we talked about that yesterday, how Mbappe is not a big-time player. We talked about how Mbappe not a big-time player. In elimination games for club or country, he's 1 goal every 233 minutes. And now don't get me wrong. Like he played, that was a great performance in the World Cup final, but 2 PKs.
No.
You could knock it down a little bit. I get you got to convert him still, but I'm just saying. But
he'd be a big time player if he played in the team. If
Yes.
instead of him just being on the field, he needs to be with his team.
yes,
That's the
yes,
problem.
I would agree. And I think though, like Spain has got to protect the 2008 to 2012 Spain group, because if Argentina goes and wins this thing, if they win on when they play Sunday, yeah, if Argentina wins this World Cup, they are better than 2008 to 2012 Spain, because in that same stretch, well, a little bit of a bigger stretch, they would have had 2 World Cups and 2 Copa Americas. Spain would have sucked in 2014 for that second World Cup go around. And don't get me wrong, I think that the 2 World Cup or the 2 Euros and the World Cup are better than a 2 Copa Americas and 1 World Cup, because Euros are harder to win than Copa America. But you slap on another World Cup for Argentina, it's a better run. That would be the greatest run of any international side of all time. And you've got to get Spain, this young group led by Lamine Yamal and whoever it is, you've got to now protect that 2008 to 2012 group. That's a great storyline. That's a phenomenal storyline for this. But again, we're going to go more in depth on this matchup tomorrow, but I think we're in for a treat in 20 or for this World Cup. And it's funny to think that like all the World Cup finals from like 2010 or the World Cup finals in 2010 and 2014 were all 1-0s, and it was a very kind of slow, methodical pace. And then we get to 2018, it's a 4-2 thrashing by France. And then we get a whatever we got in France, Argentina, 3-3, whatever it was. And then I think we're in for a treat again. I think there's going to be a lot of goals scored on Sunday, and it's going to be an absolute blast and an absolute treat to watch these. It's going to be cinema watching that team. So it's going to be a good thing. And I'm excited for Sunday. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. We'll go a little bit more in depth. Today was just shitting on an England day. If you want to continue to shit on England, we can absolutely just continue to shit on England if you want, because I don't mind it. But we'll go more in depth tomorrow and another watch party as well on Sunday. Let's take the break here. Let's talk about some interesting quotes came out. Some interesting quotes about excuse me. And some interesting quotes came out about Flo Balogun yesterday. Let's get it, or 2 days ago actually, because we wanted to get into it yesterday. We couldn't. Let's interesting quotes came out a couple days ago about Flo Balogun. Let's get into it, so don't go anywhere. Flo Balogun, other side of this.
Great game footage starts with Veo. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
What's up, everyone? Episode 322 of Inside the Game rolls on here. My name is Ryan Glitsky. James Schofield, our producer, in the building here today. Again, if you want to shit on England, get in the comments if you want it immediately read. Throw in a super chat on Shit on England. I don't care what it says. Shit on England as much as possible today because you know what?
You know,
they choke yet again in American
Why are you doing this to me, Ryan?
They haven't. England hasn't blown a lead like that since 1776. They had a 13-colony lead back then, and then they blew the 1-goal lead yesterday in the final 15 minutes. So nothing better than seeing England lose. Their tears they taste so sweet, man. And again, I love a massive nation like that, a massive brand, a massive following, just a team like that.
I know. I would have loved to see a massive brand lose, a massive following lose, especially when they're just fouling all over the place and not getting called on it. But
you know, talking about Argentina,
it happens.
And it's great to see because like again, this was the year. Like I kept seeing on social media. This was the year of massive title droughts ending. Look at Arsenal. Look at the Knicks. Everyone's like, it's going to be for England. It's going to be England. Nope. You thought only Arsenal can end title droughts in soccer this year. That's the only one. But no, it's great to see England lose. It's great to see them lose. Again, if you want to continue to get your thoughts on England losing, you want to get your thoughts on the World Cup final as well, get those in the comments. In football, as Will says, in football, such statistics aren't that important. It's still the seasons in each country that matters the most. They got the poop emoji, says from Ronald. I feel bad for Balogun. He is forever branded with Trump. People have in Europe will not forget no matter where he will play. I guess Monaco, he is now. Fans will create songs about it, probably. And
that's the thing. To the world, let's not associate it. It's separate. Politics are separate. Come on, people.
Yes. That is true. There's still a chance for James to get his epic Argentina hate watch in. By the way, there's an opportunity for you to do that. JV, I know Ryan is gonna dismiss my comment because he is a closest Argentina fan. But Morata and Rodri from Spain got a game banned for similar remarks as the Argentines did, but watch, nothing happens. I guess we've got to wrap up here, I guess, folks. We'll get into Balogun tomorrow as well. So we got close to getting into Balogun. But by the way, if you've been hearing us cough a little bit, this is why we've got to shit on
our voices are a little rough right now.
Show those photos of the house, of your house, right?
So I was on my way to work today actually, and I go outside and I'm like, I felt like, okay, for those of you who live in Michigan, I felt like I was up north.
This started yesterday.
Yes, last night I was here for the game and I started to smell it here in the studio. I'm like, what's going on?
So here's what's going on right now. Here's what's going on in the state of Michigan. Canada has the biggest wildfires I have ever seen. We're not far from Canada. I think we're about 30, 40.
Yeah, we're not. It takes us, I think, a half an hour to get to Canada from here.
Yes, it's because New Baltimore is actually a lot closer because Canada is whatever. But you look at it. The entire Metro Detroit is in a haze right now.
Yeah.
This entire studio smells like a bonfire. Like going outside, I am eating like smoke. Show these photos up of what Michigan looks like right now.
Yeah. So first of all, it's nuts. So right here, you can see like up at the top there that tree line.
Yeah.
It's like that picture like that you see when like you're so into the mountains. Yeah. That you can see the clouds going across. Right. Mm-hmm. That's what that looks like. No, that's freaking smoke from Canada.
Yeah.
That is smoke from Canada hitting in. I mean, it's like crazy.
What's the other one? The other one is
and then taking a look. Here's some more fade here, and then I also did a little. The moon is looking like
that's the sun.
That's not the moon. Yeah, it's the freaking sun. I thought it was the moon.
Sun. That's not the moon.
That's the sun coming up, looking like that through all the smoke. That is how bad it is here, folks. That is how bad it is here today. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah. No,
I screwed up.
Yeah, no. Take that.
I'll do it. There we go.
But no, it is. I generally feel like I'm smoking. It's some packs right now.
Yeah, I've been at a bonfire the whole time.
Yeah,
I feel like.
And we'll get into the comments before we get into the question of the day. Great to remember. Dave says, great to remember that the little nation of Scotland has won an international cup more recently than England. We'll hit the horn for Scotland there. We love the Scottish. Lamine Yamal, I heard about.
It
has
reached
reached
DC.
DC, by the way. Air quality alert. Yeah, we've had an air quality alert.
Ours is at 458. Hazardous air quality. That's
we're
what
just
we're at
breathing
right now.
in just.
I
toxic.
was actually doing a match last night. They had to take 3 hydration breaks in one half just because of how bad the smoke
makes
was.
sense.
Like they were all out of breath. It was bad.
LOL solidarity from SoCal. I have N95 mask lying around for such circumstances. Dude, we need that low key.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have all of our leftover COVID masks. We're okay.
We should use it. I'm still curious what kills us first, climate or AI? LOL.
It's gonna be AI changing the climate that kills us.
Probably. All right, let's get into question of the day before we gotta wrap up. We'll get to the Fuller and Balogun stuff tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, we'll do a quick question of the day here, and because yesterday we were talking about like dream teams, facing off against each other. Let's do a brief musical interlude. And what would your best halftime show be at the World Cup? Since we're talking about how much you hate the World Cup.
I hate it. Yeah, no, it's awful. Definitely not Queen. Queen would not be involved for sure.
Well, they can't.
They would never. Well, are we talking?
I mean, they can.
Are we talking about? Are we talking?
It'd be with what's his face? What's his name? Adam, I think something or other. He took over.
Are we talking dead or alive? Or are we talking? Like,
no, we're talking right now. We're talking right now. If you could have done the World Cup now,
Bruno Mars would have to be in there.
I literally was going to say Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars would have to be in there because of his Super Bowl halftime show back in 2011, 2012, 2013, whatever it is. Eminem would be solid. I won't lie. Eminem would be a good one. Swiss, by the way, 100 chats. Appreciate all of the comments coming in today from this one. Eminem, I wouldn't mind Eminem being in there. So I'm probably allowed, like 3 or 4 acts here?
Let's have Eminem play with The Weeknd since The Weeknd's Canadian.
Okay.
They'll do a thing together.
Bruno Mars is from Hawaii, so that counts as like the Oceania people, right? He's from Hawaii. So that counts.
I mean, I'll take it.
Eminem, there's your American representation. And I mean, I don't really like. I don't know if there's any European bands that I like. So if they're European, I don't know about
just
it.
Just get Ed Sheeran.
No, Ed Sheeran sucks. I've never liked.
And he's from England.
I've never liked Ed Sheeran.
He's English.
Let's get Oasis just to sing Wonderwall, just to get England pissed off. I said maybe. But
they were bigger than the Beatles.
That's a good point. That's a good point, JV. Let's get Shakira and J-Lo in there.
Yes.
Let's get Shakira, J-Lo. We'll do Bruno Mars and then Eminem. That'll be my 4 right there.
Okay.
Right there. How about you?
I'll take it. I like all that. I would want to throw in like U2 or something like that.
U2's good.
Yeah.
I like U2.
So that's that.
Real football fans don't want a halftime show. Well, we don't want a halftime show either, Swiss, but like, bro, it's America. You're going to have one. Anyway, that's going to wrap up Inside the Game here today, episode 322. Tomorrow we'll talk about Fuller and Balogun. We'll save it for tomorrow, and we'll talk about the World Cup final. But again, until tomorrow, so long. All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
We are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing, and